Well, good afternoon, Yellow Army. Today, I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by the one and only Aaron Nemane. How you doing, Aaron?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. So I think we're all getting a little bit fidgety, but we're all still here and all keeping well, thankfully. How are you? How have you been getting on and finding the lockdown? You've been getting up to anything much?
No, not much really. I've just been watching a couple of series and just trying pass time. But yeah, it's a bit difficult, but we have to stay strong and then hopefully it'll go back to normal soon.
And obviously, the televised football's been a bit of a premium, hasn't it? I know there was Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich yesterday, but it's that's normally what we turn to us football fans in these spells, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good to have like German football back because I actually quite like it. Watching it, I quite like that league, so it's good to have the Bundesliga back.
Yeah, it does look like Bayern Munich are getting ever closer to the title now after yesterday's result, doesn't it?
Yeah, another title probably. I was kind of like hoping Dortmund would win, so it'll be like a closer matchup like to the title. But yeah, another one for Bayern, so looks like they're gonna win under the title.
Now, talking about big clubs, of course, you began your career at one of the biggest in the UK here at Manchester City. That must have been an amazing experience for you with all the players that you have there, and obviously Pep Guardiola. What was that like?
Yeah, it was good to be in that academy. There was lots of good players, and it was good to play with so many like good players from different countries. So it was a good experience. I enjoyed it a lot.
How did you initially get spotted by Manchester City?
I was playing locally, and then I think there was just a scout that just came and watched me and just wanted me to go. Said I should go on the. Well, City asked me to go on a trial, and yeah, I went there. I think like my few first sessions they weren't so good actually, and I don't think they wanted to take me on. So like instead of telling me yes or no straight away, I think they kind of waited. So I was like on trial for like a good few months because they weren't really sure, and then eventually I just got signed and it just was there from 11 to 21. Yeah.
Now, obviously, you don't spend that length of time at a club like Manchester City unless you've got, something about you. So I think you're selling yourself a little bit short there, and you got a really tasty goal in the Youth Cup final against Chelsea, didn't you? Do you remember that one?
Yeah. It was I was a second year at the time, so we had both in my first year and my second year. We both got to the final, but we lost both on aggregate. We lost, I think it was 4-1 or something like that. But yeah, I got the goal and it was good. But yeah, sad that we didn't win at least one youth cup.
It must have been very tough. I mean, great experience, obviously, with all the players and the coaching staff at Manchester City. But it must be very tough when you can see all those players, as a young player coming through, all those experienced pros and internationals and all that ahead of you and thinking, cool, I've got work cut out here getting into the first team.
Yeah, there's so many, like literally. But even like, it's not even just in the first team, but also when I was younger, looking at all the players, there was just so many good players that just didn't quite make it. And at the time, you're thinking, how they're not making it. But then when you get closer to the time, you realize, yeah, it's so difficult to make it. It's too many good players.
Now, that must make it tough when you're looking to make a career in the game, because obviously if you're lower down the footballing pyramid, there's obviously a greater chance for you to get first team action. But you did tackle that because you had some pretty significant spells here in the UK and also abroad. So we could just touch upon those. You decided to take on another British giant in Glasgow Rangers. What was
Yeah.
that spell like?
Yeah, it was obviously a good experience to go out there in the Scottish League, like tough league. But yeah, to be at Rangers, it was honestly like it was really good experience being out there. And yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to play as much as I would have liked. But yeah, training every day, just being in Glasgow, just everything was obviously so new for me. Moving to like a massive city like Glasgow by myself, my first time living away from home. But yeah, I felt like I dealt with it quite well and just trained every day. And whenever I got the chance to play, I tried to play my best. But yeah, I didn't get to play as much as I would have liked. But yeah, that's football.
But playing in front of 50 odd thousands in an old firm Dartley is not a bad thing to have on your footballing CV, is it?
Oh yeah, it's good to play in an Old Firm derby. Old Firm derby. Yeah, it was a bit crazy. Like when I first walked out, it was honestly crazy.
How does the standard of the Scottish league compare? Because there's obviously been lots of opinions over the years about what the quality of life in Scotland is like compared to the English game. And I know Gordon Strachan this week has also said that the National League here in England compares favourably to a number of Scottish leagues. How do you see that?
I'd say it is. The Scottish League is very, very tough, but like there's good football. Well, when I was there was good footballing teams, like especially Hibs that 1 year, Celtic, Rangers, Motherwell. So I thought they were really good footballing teams. So, but obviously it's still very, very physical. So yeah.
And obviously, how do you counteract that when you are of smaller stature, and obviously you're playing in a physical league at the moment, the National League, and obviously you mentioned there in Scotland it was tough physically as well. How do you get upon opposing your game on the opposition?
I think it's just to be clever and basically using your body well. So moving the ball quicker so you don't get into them 50-50 challenges, because I'm most likely I'm not going to win them. So I try and move the ball quick, and that's what you have to do in these types of leagues. Because if you don't, you're just going to get taken out.
Because interestingly, one of the things that you said is that although you've been quite a few places will know you as a winger, you actually see that you have certain strengths where you can actually fulfill a role in the centre of midfield rather than out on the wing, because you get a bit more involved in the centre. Is that right?
Yeah, I've always felt quite comfortable in midfield. I think like basically that's where I started off at City,
right?
Like quite centrally, but then throughout my years, like I think it was under 14s, that's when I moved to out wide. But I still felt like I could play centrally, but then I didn't really play as much centrally as not that I would have liked, because I do enjoy it out wide, but yeah, I think I just got on, like when I play central, I just get on the ball a bit more and just try and play.
Following the experience at Glasgow Rangers, you then went on your travels again and had a spell in Belgium and Holland. What was the standard of the teams like that? You were with it was Go Ahead Eagles in Holland, Chibis in Belgium, wasn't it? What was the standard like over there?
Well, the first one was Holland, and there's a lot of good technical players. Like I knew there was going to be a lot of good players, but I didn't think there was going to be that many. Like I was actually quite shocked by how many there was. Like so many. It was just all technical. It wasn't really like a physical league, but it was just lots of good players playing football. So yeah, that was good. Also in Belgium, it was quite similar as well, quite technically, but I think it was a bit more physical in Belgium than it was in Holland.
And in both those sides, I think they were teams that were in a fight to stay in the division, wasn't it? So
yeah.
How did you find out coming from Manchester City, and obviously a club that was aspiring to win titles on all fronts and trophies on all fronts? How did you then sort of did that have to change a mindset? Because obviously at Glasgow Rangers as well, they were at the top end of the Scottish Premiership.
Yeah.
Did that take a bit of adjusting to cope with those conditions abroad?
Yeah, it was quite difficult, because literally every weekend it was, if we lose, we could be in trouble. Just literally every game, it was actually very, very difficult.
But you came through it though, and obviously that's puts you in good stead for the future. So how did the move to Plainmoor come about then?
Well, I think it was around this December. I got my agent told me that the gaffer wanted me to come in for a few days. Wanted to see what I was like. So straight away I agreed to it. Came in, trained a few days, and I did quite well. And the gaffer wanted to sign me up, and there was like no doubt I wanted to come and play here, because I enjoyed them few days I trained.
And your debut was one to remember, wasn't it? The 5-1 win against Aldershot. What do you remember of that game?
Yeah, it was my first game in a long time. Yeah, it was just felt good to be back playing after so long, and yeah, it was a difficult game because I didn't really like. Obviously, it was my first game in the National League, but yeah, it was good to get the win.
It was particularly exciting for the Yellow Army as your signing was only announced just before
Yeah,
kickoff. I think it's a surprise to the supporters as much as yourself.
yeah, literally last minute.
So are you excited about what the new campaign holds then? What made you want to commit to another season at Plainmoor?
Well, I felt quite comfortable there. As soon as I signed, I felt quite comfortable. So as soon as they said that they wanted to take me for another year, it was basically like a no-brainer to come back and have a full season. So yeah, very excited.
And what's the influence of the manager, Gary Johnson, been like on you? Do you feel that he's going to be able to take your game to even greater heights?
Yeah, I feel that the way the team wants to play, it kind of like suits me. They want to keep the ball and play nice football, score good goals, and yeah, that's what I want. And hopefully, I'll have a big part to play in.
Well, Aaron, it's been an absolute delight talking to you. Thank you very much for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Wish you all the best for the coming weeks and months, and we look forward to seeing you back in action again soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All the best, Aaron, and
Cheers.
all the best to all the supporters at home. Take care, keep safe, and we'll see you all again very, very soon.